there is an economic cost involved in these judgments. Whether we look at the closure of Sterlite plant in Tuticorin, or the bringing down of the two residential towers in Noida. In each of these cases, certainly there is a cost involved. But I guess the larger question that needs to be asked is that why, in the very first place, if there is anything which is not as per the law is allowed. So, I mean, that obviously throws a much larger question with respect to the way our government functions, the way our laws have been kind of put in place. Are they keeping, pace with the changing times? Are they addressing the emerging issues, and so on and so forth? So I'm not going into all of these. I mean, obviously, we cannot really dwell on such an important and critical issue in such a short span of time. However, what I want to really state here is from my own experience, being part of a rating agency, where we do a lot of ratings of different issuances done by different companies. One of the way to look at this is, a lot of these contracts are given out by NHAI to the private players to construct roads. And we all know that this is a crucial and a critical area for the country, particularly from the point of view of accelerating the growth and development. But we have also seen in the past that a lot of commercial dispute would emerge, and it would eventually end up in the courts, where the time taken to settle these issues would be much longer. So what has happened in the last couple of years is that the small issues that arises as a dispute between, say, NHAI and the private parties. Suppose there is a timeline and there is a overrun, and as a result of that, if it is an annuity-based project, and so NHAI says that since the road were not completed on time, and henceforth a penalty has to be given by the private, or it imposes a penalty on the private party, and private party contest that for ABC reasons. And in earlier times, such disputes would actually land up in court, and it will take much longer to settle. However, in the interim, what has happened is that lenders, typically the banks, what they have done is that they have appointed lenders, independent engineers. So, whether the project overrun is deliberate, not deliberate, because of some circumstances, etc., these are decided and certified not by either the private party or the NHAI official. It is actually given out to the LIs, as we call them. And they, once they submit their report, a quick decision is actually taken on the basis of that. So all that I'm saying is that if we try to find solution to each and every dispute, whether commercial, judicial, or criminal, or whatever, in the courts, then, in my view, it is very difficult to really accomplish this task through that. I mean, neither do we have such a large judicial system in place, as we all know. I mean, to settle the commercial disputes, commercial courts were established in major metros, and there also, if you go and look at the turnaround time or the settlement time for a particular case, it runs into more than a year in Mumbai and more than 1.5 years in Delhi. So The point that I'm making is that even while we look at these issues from a macro perspective, every dispute, every settlement cannot happen through the judicial process. We have to find out other means of settling these issues much before they actually become problematic and then land up in the court.